Welcome to the Superconscious Success Podcast, where Jen and her Superconscious Success family co-hosts bring you valuable content each and every week on topics relating to manifestation, spirituality, and most of all, using your superconscious to manifest success in all areas of your life. Now on to today's episode.
Hey there, Superconscious Success fam. Just before we get into the interview, this is just a brief message. This is actually a recording of the 2021 Superconscious Success Summit interviews. If you do want to check out the introductory for all of the guests, then you can go across to our Superconscious Success YouTube channel where you'll be able to find all the introductions. These particular podcast interviews will be the interview only. Okay, thank you. Now let's get on to the interview. Hey there, Superconscious Success fam. Welcome back to another incredible interview within the summit. And today we're going to be talking to Charmaine Grace. If you have not yet listened to her introduction, then head across to the Superconscious Success YouTube channel because she tells all her story about how she grew up and how she became where she is today. So thank you so much for being here with me today, Charmaine.
Oh, great to be here, Jennifer.
It's awesome to talk to you because today we're going to be talking about daring to dream. Mm-hmm. And I know that as a young child, sometimes we sit in class and have you ever found yourself just daydreaming out the window? And then all of a sudden you have a teacher come up to you and I know back in the day they would whack you on the wrist or something and they'd say, get back to class, stop daydreaming. And they almost said it as though it was a bad thing. So this is something that you would see a lot when it comes to clients is getting past that belief that it's not okay to daydream. So what do you think about that, Charmaine?
Dreaming is so important that without a dream, we don't have energy and passion and a vision of the future that we want to live into. Yeah. And that's what steals our passion and our energy.
Absolutely. And I think some dreams can be really small and some dreams can be really big. And I think that it's okay to start off with smaller dreams, right? And then you can work your way up.
Absolutely. It's like learning to walk, right? Mm-hmm. Our very first dream was that we were going to walk. Yeah. And because of that dream, we did. Mm-hmm. Right? When we have a dream that we're passionate about, if we allow it, it gives us purpose and meaning in our life. And without purpose and meaning, well, I don't want to get up in the morning. Do you?
No. What do you think is the reason that people have stopped dreaming?
A lot of it comes from when we were children, as you said earlier, with the teacher telling us, but our parents telling us to stop dreaming. Be here, we're talking about be here now, but it was different when you were kids. It was, this is the way life is. And I was the second of 6 children, and I got to take care of the younger ones a lot. That was my big dream.
that was still alive when your parents came home.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, but telling kids to stop dreaming is basically telling them to stop using your imagination and your creativity and stop being yourself.
Yeah.
And
I think as a parent, it's very important that we instill in our kids that anything is possible. And that if you visualize it enough and you dream it enough and then you take the steps that you need to take to make it happen, then it will happen. And not to let other people affect how you see it or affect what you're wanting to do, because there are going to be people out there that are feeling miserable within themselves and they'll project that onto you. And so it's important that we begin to believe in ourselves enough that our dreams will come true.
Oh, exactly. It's just, without a dream, we have no hope for the future. Yeah. Now, can I share with you, Jennifer, about a workshop I gave years ago?
Yeah.
Where I took my audience to the future. and
wow, cool.
to take a look at where they had come. You know, what was your life like in the future? And one woman just buried her head in her hands as she cried, "I can't, it's too depressing."
Oh no, that is
Oh,
so
it broke my
sad.
heart, you
That is
know,
so
and I
sad.
said to her, "Oh, my dear, my dear," and that was years ago. The past, you can't change the past, but the future is an open book.
So she couldn't actually visualize a future any
you
different
don't
than
have
the
a
past
dream.
was.
Exactly. Without a dream, what are you stepping into?
Yeah, it's just without a dream, all you're doing is reliving your past because you're not setting up a new story. You're not creating a new story as to what your future's going to be like. And I know myself, New Year's around the world is seen as a big festivity. It's seen as a time to be able to set your New Year's resolutions, which, to be honest, how many of us actually complete our New Year's resolutions? But my family and I, we have a tradition where at about 11 o'clock every New Year's Eve, we sit down with big, massive cards, A3 cards, and we put a big long line down the middle of it. And on the left-hand side, we have our achievements for the previous year. And our right-hand side, we have our intentions for the following year. And, and I think that that's the ability to, because they may be small dreams, they may be small goals that actually lead up to the ultimate dream that we're dreaming. And I think it's really important, like you said, if you don't have a dream, if you don't have a place that you intend to be, because I think intention plays a big part, doesn't it?
Oh, exactly. I could go into that. Like we talked about the passion test.
Yes.
In the passion test, the formula for living a passionate life is intention, attention, and no tension.
Okay.
So your intention is what you're going to do. The attention is taking action to start making it happen even. And the first baby step is just simply dreaming about it, thinking about it,
visualizing it.
But a lot of people stop dreaming because they think, I don't know how I can do it. I don't have the money. I don't have the support. I can't do it. But the last point in the passion test is no tension. And that means let go of what you expect to happen and how it is. Let go and let God, they say. And it's incredible, Jennifer, how when you let go, you have a clear intention, you take the action, you let go of the outcome, things come to you.
Oh, absolutely. And we were talking about this before the interview as to how just allowing source and our higher self to guide us, using that intuition can play a massive part. It is not our job to figure out how to make something happen.
Exactly.
That's not how the universe works. The universe says, set your intention, just like you said, you set your intention, you take action, and the action may just be small. It may just be something that proves to the universe, I am ready for this. I am ready to take action to make it happen. And I believe I'm capable of it.
Yes.
And then letting go, well, that's the ultimate step, because if you focus so much on how am I going to do it, I don't have the money for that, I don't have the resources for that, then, like you said, we stop dreaming because we don't believe it's possible.
Well, without a dream, we accept what is, and we roll with whatever is, and we take abuse, and we all allow ourselves, we tolerate our life.
Yeah.
But with a dream, we have something to step into. And when we start stepping into it, our life can change.
And it does. It changes so rapidly once you start to dream about something that you are capable of, because I think a lot of it comes down to our self-worth, and a lot of it comes down to our childhood. Like you said, you were one of 6 kids. I can't imagine that. I've got one brother, and that was enough. So, and I know that when you have older siblings, then they often get the responsibility of looking after the young ones. And that's a busy time. It doesn't really give you a lot of time to dream. So I think that that's also an issue when we're younger, is that when it's not actually instilled in us from a young age that we are capable of anything we put our mind to, then where are we going to learn it from? You know, we learn from our parents. We learn from those that are around us. And I know even as adults, and I'll get you to comment on this, but I know even as adults, we surround ourselves with people sometimes that that can be a little negative as to what you're wanting to do, and they go, oh, come on, you've been talking about that for so long, and you know, and it still hasn't happened. Now, what is your idea when dealing with people like that, as to keeping your dreams to yourself, as to telling people about it? What's your idea? Because some people say keep them to yourself until it actually manifests.
Yes. You know, it depends on the people. Tell your dreams to people who are going to support and encourage you.
Yeah.
Don't tell those people who are going to kick your feet out from under you.
Yeah, and because it changes your vibration, doesn't it?
It does. And it can just take all of your motivation and pitch it out. So you want to, if you're not hanging around with people who are going to support and encourage you, then keep it to yourself.
Yeah, which is sad, because you expect that those that you love and care about are going to support you through it, but sometimes it's actually not, doesn't actually have anything to do with you.
It doesn't.
It has to do with their inability to fulfill their dreams.
Exactly.
And so they're trying to kick it out from under you.
And they don't even know why. You know, they're all doing the best they can with what they've had, but they're basing their life on what they were brought up with as well, in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
And it took me a long, long time. Well, not so much. A month after I'd left my first marriage, it was like I had jumped over the rainbow.
Yeah.
I had no idea how I was going to survive when I left that marriage. And I even had my father say, "You can't stay here."
Oh,
it was like,
yeah.
Okay, well, I have to do this and do it on my own. And I didn't.
Yeah.
And that was awesome. And the next giant step I took was just based on having a house of my own, buying my own house. Everybody said, can't be done. If I had listened to them, I would never have done it.
Yeah.
But once I started, set the intention, started taking action, everything I needed came to me.
Absolutely, because that's what happens. You will be looked after if you have faith that everything's going to work out.
Yes.
We're put on
and
this.
It could be faith.
Yep.
Or it could just be believing that you deserve it enough.
Exactly. That self-worth.
Yes.
That belief that you're capable of it.
Yes.
And I think that's incredible. There are a lot of people that are having to deal with situations where they're having to leave marriages. I know during the COVID, what we call the COVID crisis, there's been more divorces, I think, than ever, because people are in such a close proximity to each other that they're recognizing that they're no longer compatible. So it's something that you really do need to listen to your intuition, and as you did, recognize that it's not something that was working for you.
Yes, exactly.
And it gave you the opportunity then, being out of that situation, because emotional abuse can be terrible. And being out of that situation will raise your vibration, and then all of those ideas start to come to you. So
it does. I was able to work 2 jobs.
Yeah.
And still create and have fun with my kids and raise my kids. And you know, it's
you think outside of the box, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah, totally.
Yes.
Yes. And it's also about moving out of our comfort zone, because people don't set dream because they're so scared to move outside of where they're comfortable. And this also, from what I believe, comes back to childhood, because if you look at my husband and I, we've been married for 20 years. We're very different in so many ways. He grew up in a household where they lived in the same house until he left home. And in fact, until his parents both passed away, they lived in the same house. Me, ever since I was about 5 years old, we shifted houses every year or two. So the way he's grown up, the way that he's experienced life is more black and white to how I have. My parents were very much like about dreaming and, you can do anything that you put your mind to. His parents were very more structured and you've got to go to school, you got to get a job, you got to, so my husband, he's very successful. He's, he's doing what he loves, but his dreaming capacity is not as strong as mine because he hasn't had that instilled in him from a young age.
Well, I didn't learn to dream, Jen, until I was on my own for a long time.
Yeah.
Because until we talked about the family. Yeah. But when you find your tribe, when you find people who do dream and they accept you in there, and
yeah. And this is the thing with super conscious success and all the amazing speakers. Every single one of you are positive impacts in my life, and so I actually it actually allows me to raise my vibration, and I hope that I do the same for all of you guys. Because it's important, the people that you're around the most. And my dog is going crazy. There must be a mailman or something. I don't know. But anyway, the joy of working from home is that you get all of these amazing background noises that you can't control. So you just go with the flow. So this is the thing, is that you actually build a tribe around you that lift you up and that support your goals and your dreams. And I think that is really, really important. So now, what part does pivoting play when it comes to achieving those dreams?
Well, surprisingly, some people will think that pivoting means I have to give up my dream, but it does not. Pivoting means you might have to take different actions. You might have to take a different road. It's like when you're driving down the highway and the road is closed, you have to go around, but you're still going the same place. So as I was looking at this, some of the quotes that I've come across, one is particularly from Christopher Reeve, the Superman, the second Superman, who was in that awful accident. He wrote, so many of our dreams at first seem impossible, then they seem improbable. So here we got COVID, suddenly my dream is impossible. But if we keep working towards it, they seem improbable. And then, he says, when we summon the will, they soon become inevitable. Now, this is a man who was in a quadriplegic, and he's talking about still living your dreams.
It's interesting because one of the days of the summit is my adversity section. And that is, I've gotten together a group of people that have had their own adversities that they have overcome. One of them is a quadriplegic. One of the most amazing people. He's managed to dream. He's managed to create his life around that. And it's interesting because I've met so many amazing people. And one of the people that I met, he was paralyzed from the neck down, but then he was told he was never going to walk again. He was never going to, get function again. Now he walks. He's a black belt in karate. He got all function back. And
really?
Yeah. And that was through his belief in what he was capable of. It took a year, And he actually said, if I could have, he says, I would have killed myself. He says, but I was a quadriplegic. I couldn't do anything. It was, and so the power of the mind, the power of our intention, he intended he was going to get through this. And if you haven't, he's not on this particular summit, but I'm hoping to get him on the next one. But if you want to check him out, his name is Marcus Aurelius Anderson, and he's a friend of mine, and he was actually on one of my old podcasts. So he's definitely someone that you should look up, because he's absolutely incredible, and his story is very motivational, and it just proves that if you dream enough, if you intend enough, and you know where your end goal is, then anything's possible.
Absolutely. So you let it go and let the powers that be take care of it, right?
Exactly. And that's what he did.
But you have to dream first.
That's right. And
everything starts with a dream.
It does. Everything starts with the dream, and expectations play a massive part, because I think you were mentioning in the intro how sometimes what we do is we get let down so much that we expect that's going to happen.
Yes.
So this is something that happened to you too, wasn't it?
That's what stopped my dreaming. Is that I expected, every time I expected something good, it seemed like it went wrong. So I declared to the universe, I am not going to expect good things. You know the picture of Scarlett O'Hara on Tara?
Yeah.
Oh, never again. And I didn't realize how much that stopped me from dreaming, and how much that affected my ability to move forward in my life, to do the things that I wanted to do.
Because you put it out there, didn't you?
I put it out. Contract with the universe.
Yeah, it said, okay, that's what you want. Don't expect that you're going to get anything good, because this is what you've asked me for. So we've got to expect good things and know with certainty that this is going to happen.
When we know it in here with certainty, it's incredible what happens.
Oh, totally.
In trust, we need to have faith and trust. And some people, they don't like the word faith, but trust, belief, they all of the great philosophers. Yes.
Yeah.
But sometimes we don't have the knowing yet.
Because the problem is that we live from I'll see it and then I believe it.
Exactly.
But the way that the universe works is the other way around.
Exactly.
If you believe it, you'll start to see it.
And if you believe it, a way will be shown.
Yeah, absolutely. And with expectations, I mean, I know my husband and I, after we got married, we moved countries. And before I left, people said to me, oh, people over there, they're so rude and they're so arrogant and all of this. And I remember my dad saying to me, you get what you expect, even at that stage. So I said, okay, that sounds fair enough. So when I went across, I went with the expectation that everybody was going to be lovely to us, that we're going to make lots of new friends. And that's exactly what happened. We made incredible friends. We didn't have any issues with anybody over there. And yet my brother and his wife, they went across and had the completely opposite experience. But they also went across with the expectation that people over there were going to be rude and that sort of thing. And it's like, well, you get what you expect.
Okay, Jen, I have to ask a question. Across, you had to go across.
Across.
Where did you go? Where did you go?
We went to Germany.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so we lived. Across,
yeah.
You lived where?
We lived in Kiel in Germany.
Okay.
Yeah, and they were incredible people. And to tell you the truth, the people that we that said that to us had never been.
No.
And it was just, maybe they'd watched movies or something. I have no idea. But the amount of amazing people that I met over there, and the friendships we formed, who we're still friends with to this day.
Awesome.
And, you know, I think I had two, I wouldn't say bad experiences, but two experiences with people that that were uncomfortable, but that was just, I had obviously put it out there. It was obviously something that I had. Yeah. But, you know, it was the best experience ever. 2 years in a foreign country, just my husband and I, and then I had my son over there. So you do. What you expect is what you get.
Exactly.
So now, do you still do, we spoke a little bit ago about the passion test. Yes. Do you still do facilitation with that? Because you are.
I do.
You do?
I do. In fact, my next passion test workshop is on February 13th.
February 13th. Okay. Yes. Well, obviously the summit is after that. Yes. How often do you do the passion test workshops?
My intention this year is to do it one every 2 months.
Okay, great. So we'll be able to.
But I also do one-on-one consultation. So
for the passion test.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's a 3-session workshop.
Okay.
One-on-one consultation.
So within the playbook that people have been sent when they registered, all of your information is in there. If you give me the details for the next workshop and everything else, that will also be in there as well. And yeah, so every couple of months. And so if you were to describe what the passion test can do for somebody in terms of being able to help them to build their dream, what would you say?
Oh, I can tell such wonderful experiences of clients.
Yeah.
And me, of course. I love doing the passion test. I love the facilitation of it.
Yeah.
One person, as we went through it, she started hesitating. It's going through, and it was like, come on, what's the hesitation? She ended up starting a new business, and she wanted it, and you could tell. I'm always telling people, get out of your head and into your heart.
Yeah.
So tell me about this. It ended up, number one, on her passion, she started a business within 3 months. I have another one who was terrified of water, who went whitewater rafting.
Wow. Yeah.
Someone else who wants to is starting a horse rescue and couldn't find a place. A week after we finished, she's driving down the road and she gets cut off by a car, and it takes her right down the road beside the place that she wanted.
Oh, wow. It just shows how it works, huh?
It's just by getting clear on what it is that's important to you in your life. Then that's your first step to finding your purpose. And then you start doing things. It's absolutely awesome. I love it.
And how long do your workshops take?
The workshop is 3 hours.
3 hours.
And of course it's going to be online.
Yep.
So anybody can come.
Anybody can go. Fantastic. Well, we'll put all of those details in there. Now, before we go, just let people know where they can actually get hold of you and any other information you want to include.
Okay. My name is Charmaine Grace. Your Next Step to Possibility. Mm-hmm. And I can be reached at charmainegrace.com or on Facebook, Your Next Step to Possibility, or Charmaine Grace. And I have a Your Next Step to Possibility group on Facebook as well, and it's called Your Next Step to Possibility group. And I'm starting a new web page called yournextsteptopossibility.com.
Okay.
And I'm starting a networking group called BEE, Your Possibility.
Oh, fantastic. You are certainly busy.
I am. It's opportunities have come and reignited my spark of hope and possibility, and I'm stepping into them. So
fantastic. So proud of you, Charmaine. I think it's going to be incredible, and I'm really looking forward to your upcoming program, Daring to Dream.
Oh, Daring to Dream. Yes. Yep. people need to learn how to dream again. You want to dream your possibilities. So
yeah. And
contact
within
me.
within that program, do you do the passion test as well? As
I
part
do.
of, yeah,
I break it down over a couple of weeks. Yes.
Excellent. Well, if you send across those the details for that program, then I can let everybody know about it too.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, thank you so much for being with me today, Charmaine. I really appreciate it, and I'm sure that the attendees have learnt a lot about dreaming. And if I can say one thing, it's that, you know, dream big because you're worth it.
Well, if I may.
Yes.
Goethe said, as soon as you trust yourself, you will know how to live. And he says, whatever you can do or dream you can, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. Begin it now. Dare to dream, friends.
Fantastic. And yeah, get started now, because you don't have to be waiting for trying to figure out how it's going to happen.
No,
take a little step. Take a little
Just
step.
Dare to dream it and take that first step.
Absolutely. It's a brand new year, guys, and it's time to really step into it and realize that the world is your oyster. Everything is possible, and you just have to believe it. Thanks, Charmaine.
Thank you, Jen.